We're in the home stretch of 2022. Welcome to Pocono Mountains Podcast, Season 2, Episode 28. I'm Jim Hamill. Have you had a jump start on your holiday shopping yet? I have not, but we do have some great ideas throughout the Poconos, shops that specialize in gifts of all kinds for the season. We featured one on the last episode, Asparagus Sunshine. This time, we're going to meet the women behind Gather in Honesdale and Gorgeous Floral in Hawley. More on their daily efforts to help the business community and their customers in just a bit. The Poconos is a year-round destination for millions of people with 2,400 square miles of rivers, lakes, forests, and mountains with historic downtowns and iconic family resorts. It's the perfect getaway. You can always find out more on PoconoMountains.com or watch PTN, the Pocono Television Network, streaming live 24/7. Thanks for listening to Pocono Mountains Podcast. We'll have a new episode each week highlighting lots of the fun things you can experience while you're visiting. Subscribe to Pocono Mountains Podcast and leave a review and or comment on whatever platform you listen. Now back to the episode. If you saw last month's Pocono Mountains magazine, you might remember Olivia Santo from Gather and how she encountered an unwanted guest in her building. Just one of the examples of how you never know what your day will be like in small business. Here's our longer discussion from her shop in Maud Alley in Honesdale. Enjoy. Welcome back to Pocono Mountains Podcast. I'm your host, Jim Hamill, here in the lovely shop on Main Street in Honesdale, Gather. And the owner and proprietor, Olivia Santo, joins us. Olivia, thank you for joining us on the podcast. How are you today?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Great to have you here because I know this is my hometown, live here, and you came in here and really transformed this place into, yet another wonderful shop on Main Street. Tell me why you wanted to get into, small business and retail like this on Main Street.
So it all started about maybe about 5 years ago. I was living in New York City, had a corporate job, and I felt a little unfulfilled in my job. The corporate grind got a little tiring after a while, and so I grew up here, and I started during the summer. I started spending more time up here, and visiting my parents' house, and really noticing that the area was going through such a change, a great metamorphosis. Really, there was a lot of new shops opening up, a lot of young people moving here, and just a lot more options, really. And I thought that I wanted to be a part of that, had a crazy idea that maybe I could make this work and open up a business. I come from a family of business owners, so having that, I feel like that's kind of in my blood a little bit. So I kind of just, the timing and everything just really worked out. There was a beautiful spot on Main Street that was going to become available, and my background is in merchandising, fashion, marketing. So I thought that, hey, maybe I could have a go at it and, really contribute to the downtown revitalization that was going on, and be a part of something that was really fulfilling. So here we are about 4 years later, right. And it was the greatest decision I ever made.
And in 4 years' time, I mean, it's felt like you said a wild success. You've been part of that effort to revitalize the downtown through your involvement with the Greater Honesdale Partnership as well. But it's no easy task, right? Especially having come through COVID and having to change your entire approach to reaching your customers. So small business sounds like it's quaint and wonderful, but there's probably a lot of effort that goes into making that work all year round.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's it's definitely it's hard work, it's you're constantly working, you're not just working when you're in the store, you're working when you're at home, when you wake up, you always feel like there's something that you should be doing to further your business. And it's a trade-off, I mean, I work weekends, I work holidays. I mean, those are the busiest times too. So I really have to make sure that I'm, at work those days. And, it's it's a commitment and it's a sacrifice that I have to make, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. I mean, I'm so happy to be my own boss and to be able to, feel like I'm making a difference here and getting to meet so many amazing people. It's the best job I ever had, really. Yeah.
What's your typical day like? Because you do have yourself, any other employees, but like you've got to get here and open up the shop. But like you said, it's probably from the moment you wake up as to like, oh, what's on my plate today? Because it all rests on you.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's every day is different, but generally, I do come in most days. I come in and do a little bit of restocking, do a bit of cleaning in the store, some maintenance, check online orders, see if we need to fulfill anything, and help customers, and never know what's gonna happen that day. Right. The other day I came in, there was a skunk in my basement, so.
And how did you handle that? I think the viewers at home and listeners at home really want to know. How did you handle a skunk in your basement?
I just had to call the professionals.
Very good.
My dad and a local pest control guy.
Gotcha.
Brandon. Shout out Brandon. And the point is, you never know what's gonna happen that day.
That's true.
When you think you have something figured out, nope, something else entirely is gonna happen, but you just gotta roll with the punches.
And you gotta rely then on a network of like community, right? Like your neighbors here in Maud Alley, like the fact that you had to reach out to your dad in the pest control. So other entities really help make small business successful, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a team effort constantly. You gotta rely on other businesses, and it's a constant collaboration between everybody, and we're lucky to have a great network and support system of other business owners here on Main Street and in other towns as well. It's really awesome community, and we all help each other out, and the success of all of us, is so important, and it's a high tide. What is it?
all ships rise with the tide, right? Yeah.
All ships rise with the high tide.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
And to think about this too, people might think, man, I see them on social media, so they must have somebody doing it for them. Like, you've got to probably do all of it yourself too. Like from, like you said, the cleaning of your store, the ordering, the placement of everything out there in inventory, and like even the marketing and promotion of your own business. So it's so many different hats.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You really got to be able to, be multifaceted, and it's a lot of creativity, it's a lot of manual work, also physically, there's a lot of strategizing and financials also. So yeah, it's definitely got to wear a lot of different hats for sure. And definitely social media is definitely a huge part of it.
Yeah.
I don't think I realized that when I opened as well. You really have to have a strong background in marketing, and even social media specifically, just like Instagram, Facebook. Wonderful platforms, though. I mean, it's a great way to get your business out there. But definitely takes up huge amount of my time during the day.
And that's the other thing that other shop owners have pointed out. You don't really get time off necessarily, right? Like you even said, you're here as many days as you can. So it is part of your life. It's not just like a job, right? There's like this synergy there that has to exist, or you can't succeed,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. You're probably like known around as the gather girl, like you can't separate yourself from like your shop, right? Because it's your identity in some way too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, sorry, I don't know how to.
Oh, it's fine.
It's
But
true.
you're proud of all that you've accomplished in this 4-year time span,
Absolutely. Yeah. Very. It's incredible to see the support of the community, and especially after COVID, and that really changed my whole outlook on the whole community. I mean, just how incredibly supportive and how we can all like work together and how everyone can really be can really move quickly too, and when faced with adversity, really a lot of people had to change up their whole business plans during COVID overnight, and I think a lot of people came out stronger because of it.
I remember seeing you like loading up your car with like a bunch of stuff to ship, right? So like
Yeah.
you kind of like pivoted to that like model of dealing with online orders and things like that, and that might have even helped bolster like what you can do now. It's probably part of like the Gather model now. Yeah.
Absolutely, that was a huge silver lining to it all. I had to close for 3 months, had to figure out what to do to still really make money, and stay relevant too, right? So I started my online business, and so grateful that I was able to do that, because I was able to reach a whole other demographic, a whole other different customer as well, people who don't live in the area or people who only come here once a year. And it's been another incredible source of revenue as well. So so great, grateful to have that.
And you guys, as small business owners, probably want to help other small business owners and ask, the general public to support small business too, because really that money doesn't like leave the community; it stays in the community then too. So that helps from a significant standpoint of like supporting your neighbors, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's so important to, we're all part of the same community here, and, we can all, be grateful of each other's success. It's so important, and to support each other. And it's so important.
Yeah. Anything else that we're missing with regards to just the daily struggle that, like you said, there's finances too. There's like all those things that, are probably the less than glamorous kind of look into small business, but people who come in and shop here probably don't recognize that that's part of the secret in the sauce, as I said.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's a lot of it's not so glamorous. Absolutely. I think dealing with I mean, sorry, I'm trying to think of what would be a good answer here, because
it's just not as simple as like, okay, they hand you money and then like the money goes into the till and then hey, my job's done there. There's so much more behind the scenes that has to be done to manage the small business in some way, right?
Yeah, I feel that probably the biggest struggle and challenge that I've had, and what I've realized that I needed to rely on others for advice and professionals, is more the accounting and bookkeeping part of it. Right. I know it's ooh, it's fun, but it truly is so important to keep your finances organized, and to really be able to, once you do that, you can have a snapshot of how well your business is actually doing. Because hey, it may seem like I'm having a good day, but you really have to make sure you're balancing your expenses, your inventory purchases, make sure that it's all lining up and you're keeping track of everything. And because that's it. I mean, the financials are. But I've definitely feel like I've come a long way in that, and maybe underestimated that part of it when I first opened up. But no, there's a lot of power and in knowing that, and I feel like once you have that literacy in that, you can run a much stronger, healthier business, and not stressed out so much. To know that things are going okay. Yeah.
Good for you guys then. Any other plans for the future, or just kind of stay ahead of the game as much as you can? Gather's right here on Maud Alley, and obviously downtown Honesdale is a great shopping district for any time of year, let alone the holidays.
Absolutely, yeah. I definitely just want to try to get through Q4 first. It's our busiest time of year, I'm super excited. It's my favorite time of the year. It's the store looks great. We have so many gifts and so many like Christmas items, and it's so much fun, and great energy during that time of the year. So let's get through that first. And,
All right.
We'll see what happens.
Well, good for you. Olivia Santo of Gather here in Honesdale. Thank you so much for joining us on Pocono Mountains podcast. We think that, small business is the lifeblood of the Pocono Mountains, and we're so thankful that you're here on Main Street in Honesdale, and I'll probably be stopping in for some gifts for the family come the holiday season. So thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me, and thanks so much for everything that Pocono Mountain TV does for all of us.
Anytime. I'm glad to do it. Gather on Main Street in the home of Winter Wonderland, also known as Honesdale. While there, be sure to check other spots in town, including Native, Camp Umpy's, Here and Now, Gather's neighbors, Maud and Maine, and Wallflower for all your gift-giving needs.
When you visit any of our resorts, you can be confident that the comfort and safety of our guests is a top priority.
Thousands of our team members work hard daily to keep our restaurants, attractions, and resorts safe for our guests, so you can enjoy your time with us. That's the Pocono Promise.
Go to PoconoMountains.com.
We're back. Thanks for listening to Pocono Mountains Podcast. I'm Jim Hamill. Now for another discussion with the Chief Green Thumb at Gorgeous Floral, a settler's hospitality property near the Hawley Silk Mill. Gorgeous lives up to its name and is another prime spot for shopping small this holiday season. Enjoy. Hi, everyone. It's Jim Hamill with Pocono Mountains Podcast. We are here along Route 6 in Hawley with Catherine Brown. She has Gorgeous Floral here, part of the Settlers Hospitality Properties, but this is really your bread and butter. You are an amazing person when it comes to having a green thumb, Catherine, and thank you for welcoming us here. Tell me what it takes to run a business that's like this one.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. I mean, honestly, and primarily, it's a beautiful space. And so in a space such as this, and Settlers has many beautiful spaces, to work in it, I mean, it almost gives you more creativity. But it is a lot of work. And what goes on behind the scenes of a beautiful arrangement or centerpiece is a lot. So we try to, source as much locally as we can during the season. Then we go out from there, and then it's the processing and the storing and the cooler. There's a lot that goes into it. So we are so appreciative of the customers that come in, both new and now regulars. We've been open a little bit more than a year, so we've really appreciated that. And just hopefully making people happy. And the flowers are a luxury, so we want to make sure that people are happy with the product.
I know I have come here for my needs, right? For especially my bride. Tell me what kind of things you guys specialize in too. It's not just arrangements, but also too, Melody took a little class last night too. So you guys do things that kind of help people understand and have some kind of fun experience doing floral arrangements.
Yes, exactly. So I think that it's important to have knowledge of plants and arrangements, and we have some home decor and some gift type items, but I would say certainly our specialty are the arrangements seasonally and weddings, all sorts of arrangements for all sorts of things. And we're honored when people say to us, this is an important time of our life and we would like you to bring the flowers. And that is so huge, and we don't take it lightly. But when it comes to the classes, which at this point we have about one per month here at Gorgeous, so much fun. We probably will be opening up more, especially during the busy seasons. But to have people sort of learn more about the floor arranging or about seasonal, decor or kokedama, terrarium buildings, all sorts of fun things. So to bring people together, and sometimes it's mothers and daughters, sometimes it's grandmothers, and just friends out for a good time. So we're here for it.
That's awesome. I mean, it seems like you pour your heart and soul into this too, and you do try to keep in touch with like an online audience too, right? You kind of create these fun little things to kind of keep people interested in what you have going on and how they can apply it to their daily lives with the plants and the flowers and everything else that they can maintain on their own.
Yeah, no, that's been so fun. Something that I've done for a while, and then coming here to Settlers Hospitality and a group that has kept that bit going. And for me, I started my working career as a teacher. So if I'm teaching, I am feeling good, like I'm helping and people are learning, and that's a really big deal to me. And I think that adds to, remembering the place. Hopefully the product becomes better and people can do it on their own, and they realize, like, wait, I can do this too. But we're here, they just wanted to have us do it too.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And so, there's so much that goes into running this physical location, but you wear many other hats too. You have an event venue, actually two event venues. One's a farm, one's a historic location in Honesdale, 6th and River, another member of the Pocono Mountains Visitors Bureau. So being in small business and being, on the local level, you see the value and the importance of supporting local, right?
Oh my goodness, absolutely. Everyone works hard. That's what, especially now, everyone's working hard, but to be in small business at the moment is particularly challenging. Inflation, the prices of everything, it's just very challenging. And so that's why our goal is to nail every experience, to make happy customers, to make happy memories, to make them last, and give the experience of something so that they can go home. Oh yeah, I remember that. I'm going to go back there, and I think that Settlers does a great job with customer service, and we hope to do that here at Gorgeous and at my own places too. But boy, is it a challenge. And yeah, it's just a lot of work, sun up to sundown and beyond.
You do sleep, right?
I do a little bit. It would be nice to have a little more sometimes, but you know what? Sometimes you just get going.
Knowing you, absolutely. You got to keep moving, right?
Yes,
yeah. The momentum
absolutely.
is what keeps you going forward. To also kind of take on this space too. I know that we kind of touched upon that earlier, just how beautiful it is, but it's really been a transformation of this spot overlooking the Pawpack Falls. Just in any season is gorgeous. Haha, fun.
Yes,
but
nailed
then, thank you. And then outside too, the mural that Jeff George did, and just how everything works together is really an experience in here. It's not just you come in to get something. You can really kind of appreciate being in this space.
Absolutely. I mean, quite honestly, the light alone, when they opened up the back two walls, the plants are just like, oh, I am here and flourishing. So that's just awesome. And of course, when you're around light, it helps. So I think just walking in a space with plants and lights and flowers, and it smells good most of the time, what more could you want, So we're very lucky. And again, I think that the vision of the place and the history of the place too, which, as you mentioned before, I am a sucker for old buildings and making them new again and breathing life into them. So this was certainly an example of that, and the Genslingers do that beautifully.
They certainly do. So talk to me about team too, because you are not a one-person team. You've got a lot of folks who help in the daily grind, and they're behind the scenes right now working too, and remaining quite quiet. So thank you guys very much. But tell us about like how pivotal that is to have a solid team to make small business work.
Oh my gosh. I could get emotional, quite honestly, because I wouldn't be standing here without a team of people, the team that I have. In the case here at Gorgeous, we're all women, and we have 18-year-olds up to 70-year-olds. And it is just an honor to work with amazing people, and they work so hard. They'll do anything, they'll go anywhere, and we've got a lot of places, and serve the customer with a friendly smile. And quite honestly, it's just an honor to lead them and hope that they're learning and we're all growing together. We learn from each other, but small business does not work without those people, without the people throughout Settlers Hospitality that come in and do the work to make your experience awesome. So when you sit down to have dinner and your cocktail, there are people behind the scenes working day to night to make that moment awesome. And so that's what we hope we can do. But there's about 10 of us here at Gorgeous, and it's like clockwork. We're very lucky.
Good for you. And good for the community, good for the Poconos to have such a, really it really sets the bar high for what a floral shop should be, with the location, with your guys' customer service, and just your care and just overall the quality, So I'm sure I'll be purchasing something before I leave here, because if I tell my wife I went to Gorgeous
No
Floral
pressure.
today
Yeah,
and
exactly.
didn't come home with anything, yeah, I'm in the doghouse.
She bought about $400 worth last night. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Okay. So she's ahead of the
I'm
curve.
just kidding.
But anything else you want to add?
No, I appreciate you all being here, and I appreciate, like I said, the customers that have already been in. And if you haven't been into Gorgeous Floral, give us a chance and see if there's something that we can make for you for a special occasion, or for someone or an event. And Thanksgiving is coming up, so we're excited about that, and the holidays. But we're here, and we're here Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 5.
And your website?
And the website is gorgeousfloral.com. Yep.
Easy enough.
Yes.
Catherine Brown with Gorgeous Floral, 6th and River, Fox Hill Farm, of a few of the hats you wear. And again, thank you for having us here, Pocono Mountains Podcast. This is Jim Hamill, and you can visit them here in person or online and on social media as well. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Small businesses in the Poconos, including Gorgeous Floral, Gather, and many more. You could find plenty in towns, including Jim Thorpe, Milford, and so many other spots this season and all year long. Thank you so much for listening to Pocono Mountains Podcast. Please remember to subscribe wherever podcasts are available. Come visit us in the Pocono Mountains. Plan your trip today.